Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith. Today I'm going to be working through the new Captivated devotional kit that just released. I'm working in my interleaved journaling Bible here. I've already gotten started with the first prompt, recorded some journaling prayer here on this page in Matthew. I've mixed some paint to now scrape over that journaling, and I'm going to incorporate some different bits from the kit and from the print and pray shop to finish off my page today. So let's go ahead and get started. Clearly, I am still writing that painterly look that Mary inspired in the beloved devotional kit that we worked through last month. And so I mixed 4 different colors of acrylic paint to get this pinkish purple, a chartreuse color that I'll then layer on top, and then some robin's egg blue. I decided to use my heat tool in between layers here because I did not want these colors to mix. Last week, Shauna shared a flip through of her completed interleaved journaling Bible, and there was this one page that really jumped out at me, and that was the inspiration. Like, the format of that page was the inspiration for this page here. So I wanted to have like this curve in my page where 2/3 of it was just white space, and so that's what I'm gonna do here. In between each layer, I'm hitting that again with my heat tool so they don't blend, and then to top it all off, I'm going to drag my paint card through that pinkish purple paint one more time, and then put that over these other layers. I'm almost done. I'm going to go back in one more time and use that chartreuse color again. It was kind of getting lost on my page and it looked a little brown, so I wanted to brighten it up. I'm going to let this air dry. I found that when I hit paint with the heat tool, it kind of makes it a little darker. So I'll just put this to the side and then work on the right side of my page. I really like the washi that's included with this kit. It's got a fun terrazzo pattern, so I put that to the right. The passage that I'm journaling is actually on the back side of this page. There was another entry journaled adjacent to it, so no big deal, I just moved over. So this is kind of indicating that, it's on the opposite page, at least to me in my mind. I used some of the die cut ephemera that came with the kit, like this highlighter, and I'm looking to see which element I want to use for my focal point on the left side. While my paint is still drying, I'm going to use some StazOn Jet Black ink and layer the highlighter stamp underneath the highlighter die cut. And then to make sure that's secured, I used my tiny attacher to staple it together. And then I remembered that I wanted to use the Captivated Bits and Bobs set that Vanessa did for the print and pray shop. So originally my plan was to use a camera for this page, but then I decided to use like this little Polaroid instead. It gave me more room for my title, which is going to be Captured. The theme of Tiffany's devotional is our thought life and taking our thoughts captive and submitting them to Christ, just like Paul says in his letter to the Corinthians. So I'm using the beloved alpha stamp from last month's devotional kit, counting the letters in the word captured here to figure out how I want to display them on the page, and then using 3 lines to stamp the word around this cluster here. So in my Bible study this morning, there was a question asked that I thought was congruent to what I was reading in the devotional, and it asks, despite being called a child of God, what idea of yourself do you still cling to at the expense of your spiritual life? So another way of asking is, what lie are you believing? Which is kind of what Tiffany asks in this first session of the devotional. That's what I wrote in my journaling that is now covered by paint that I'm attempting to cover again with a Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayon. And then to add a little more interest, I'm going to use my Zig vellum writer. This is made by Kiritaki, and they might have something similar now. It's a dual-tipped pen and marker that's perfect for writing on top of mixed media, like paint like this, so it won't tear up the nib of your pen. And similar to what was included in the Bits and Bobs set, I'm just drawing these little crosses all over the place. I like having that as like a finishing touch here. And then I didn't want to forget the scripture that I was referencing that was the jumping off point for my journaling. I'm just using the stamp set here that says Truth Seeker and noting that I'm referring to 1 John 3:1 and then Matthew chapter 19. In her devotional, Tiffany encourages us to call out those specific lies that we believe about ourselves. She says, let's say them out loud, write them down, and give them a name. By allowing God to sanctify the shadows of our minds, we welcome His grace and redemption. And in return, God's power is made perfect in our weakness. We would love to have you join us for the Captivated devotional kit. I've got the kit and all of the supplies that I used linked down in the video description below. It's going to be great. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.